they are going to bring it on the defensive end. You see Purdue starting in a 1-2-2 zone, trying to thwart some of that size advantage that Kentucky possesses on the inside.
And Coach Gerald told us we're going to be throwing the kitchen sink at them and just going to see what sticks against the team that is so strong. 11 newcomers under new head coach Kenny Brooks, but a lot of talent on the floor.
Yeah, no question about it. And trying to just get all the pieces. Gerald's was so funny. She said it's like throwing the spaghetti noodle up on the wall, and if it sticks, we're going to use it defensively against this really well-oiled machine in Kentucky.
So we start with back-to-back turnovers. Katie Gerald in her 4th season at her alma mater, feeling good about this team. Said, I love coaching them, how hard they work, how much fun we have as a group together.
Absolutely. They're always learning, and during her tenure as a coach, they have defeated 3 ranked teams trying to make it 4 today. Her execution and mechanics on her 3-ball, the early lift, the nice strong flick of the wrist, the legs underneath every single shot. Just missed the mark on that last one, but best believe that next one probably a fall.
Threading the needle, the ball is going to go out of bounds for Purdue. Kenny Brooks in his 1st season leading the Kentucky Wildcats, spent the last 8 seasons building Virginia Tech into a national powerhouse, led that program to its first ever Final Four ACC.
He says we think alike, we think the game alike, we go through film and see the same things, and they're just joined at the hip, which is why she left Virginia Tech to join him here, because of that synergy that both of them possess.
There is this trust and affection that is palpable between the two. Brooks says we watch film together like you would watch Netflix with a friend.
That's right. That's my kind of friend. Listen, we're not doing Netflix. We're watching game film. Let's do it.
Destiny Lombard, the drive into the, making the Wildcats work. And taken away by one of the best defenders in the Big Ten, Lombard, bringing it into the front court.
Yeah, she is so tough with her hands and quick anticipation skills. Just pop that one out with cat-like quickness for the steal, and then put it behind her back to keep control of the possession.
2.3 steals per game for Lombard, the WAC Defensive Player of the Year last year. That by Bass will not fall, and a whistle going for that loose ball.
Yeah, Lombard told us that she was aware that Georgia Amore came into this game shooting 25% from 3, and she said, well, she knocked on every piece of wood she could find and say, hopefully this isn't her get-right game. But she is aware of what she can do from 3, but she just hasn't knocked them in yet this season.
Shot clock violation and a tremendous defensive possession for Purdue.
Yet again, they are playing with some scrap, some fight, and they have made a commitment to grit. And that's what you have to do against hard.
And we will step aside past the midway point of the first quarter. A slow go offensively in West Lafayette.
Say you're looking for the perfect present.
They bring back 7 players. They still have to learn each other. And I think that's still a challenge, especially down the stretch, to close out games against top teams. Like you were alluding to that Maryland game. I mean, Katie Gerald said it was about 35. Has had to make an adjustment to that role for Purdue.
At 17 points against Maryland, Coach Gerald says, I love her coming off the bench, the tempo she brings. She's going to get the same minutes, the same opportunities, but just a better position for her as Amore gets that one to drop her first points today.
That's that sweet spot of the zone that you have to attack, either with an entry pass or with a dribble drive like that. And Amore stopped on a dime right there in that midi and got that one to softly drop. Defense again coming into this game. Kentucky, one of the top 4 defensive teams in the SEC, only giving up just under 55 points per contest to opponents. Please get that. Good
that close, Christy.
But take a look right here. Just a great read spacing-wise by Purdue. And Johnson gets right to the bucket. Just slithers her way downhill. And just a great read in the 2-player action in the short corner. Got it. Defense again coming into this game. Kentucky, one of the top 4 defensive teams in the SEC, only giving up just under 55 points per contest to opponents. Please get that. Good.
That close, Christy.
But take a look right here. Just a great read spacing-wise by Purdue. And Johnson gets right to the bucket. Just slithers her way downhill. And just a great read in the 2-player action in the short corner. Got to manipulate that zone to their favor.
The speed of Destiny Lombard, but it will be a charge taken by the Wildcats, and Rowe in the lane.
Got established, took the hit to the chest. And that's what Kentucky needs to do, right? They need some consecutive defensive stops. Purdue off to a nice run on the offensive side, but they're sticking with their 1-2-2 zone.
Long two for Amor, doesn't fall. Standing now at 8 points shy of 2, but an offensive rebound keeping it alive. Puryear, no good from the mid-range, and taken by Hassett. Over 9 rebounds per game for her. Quick three for Rowe, and Kentucky now 1 for 11 from long range.
Well, Kentucky has 3 players who average over 9 rebounds, and if I'm an opposing coach, that's a daunting stat, right? With 1 player averaging 9 is also a tall task, but when you have 3 players who are ravenous, who attack the boards that way, and 1 for Amor.
Amor completes the 3-point play. She is now 3 points shy of 2,000 for her career, now in her 5th season.
She's from Ballrat, Australia, and that just speaks to who she is. I mean, she loves to hoop. She loves basketball. You see a little horn set here by Purdue with the 2 post players at the elbow extended, trying to...
Oilers basketball underneath their own hoop.
A little discombobulated right there, trying to set some screens, running into each other.
Collier lobbing it inside, but McCarthy can't handle it.
She was in a crowded space, didn't have her rhythm with her footwork there to finish properly.
Lombard called for the foul. That's her second.
It's not always to go through your bigs. You put your point guard at the nail and let her go to work.
Such a versatile scorer. They are putting her to work now, 1 point shy of 2,000 career points. Jones turn on the Jets, threading the needle to McCarthy, and she gets that to drop through.
McCarthy wasn't quite ready for that pass from Jones, but it was a bounce pass, and I cannot say that.
Coming up, stick around for the All-State halftime report. Kylan Mills, Autumn Johnson, Chloe Pavlik in our Chicago studios, recapping the first half, breaking it all down, and much more. This last stretch of non-conference play before we get to January and things really take off. But to talk about Amor as well, you look at her career ranks amongst active players in Division I, and she has had a magnificent career. Oh, see some fire after an and one in practice go right at each other.
Swell up, like, you know, little Arthur fist. Swell up, put your jacket on, and one. But that's what Key brings, right? And that edge. And you can still go get something to eat after practice, but you got to be tough.
Maya Reynolds can't get the roll. Puryear has that blocked. Nearly 3 per game for Key. She gets one right there on the stop.
So big inside in terms of her presence as a rim protector in the paint. How about that? Strack right there on the flight of that shot and found the proper position to go hunt that possession and put it back in off the window. See Purdue trying to get some 2-player action, and Kentucky doing a good job of staying connected on those screens at the elbow.
They go into the post for Bass, gets around her defender, and then gets fouled.
Challenge for Purdue here in the second half. Can you keep them off of the offensive glass and disallow any second or third chance opportunities in there?
Lana McCarthy really battling Hassett in the post, and an elegant post move for the finish.
I'm telling you, she has some great footwork and solid mitts. And when I say mitts, I mean great hands. You throw it in her area and she's going to corral it and bring it in.
Georgia Amor leaves it way short, but she led this team offensively. They'll get the ball into the post by Coach Gerald.
Absolutely, and that's the challenge. And that's what she said. You go in there with some full force, get on your 10 toes, and take the ball up strong, and that's what we've seen from Purdue.
Georgia Amor 0 for 2 to start this half, but sneaking in another offensive rebound from Key, and Lawrence dials up a 3. Back to the Boilermakers.
It's a 16-10 advantage in paint points. by Kentucky. She doesn't get a touch. She's going to really commit defense to where she is.
Key barreling down the lane will be shooting 2.
And that's the kind of aggressiveness that Kentucky needs, right? You saw that in the second quarter. They took it upon themselves to stay aggressive, especially in the painted area.
She had only 2 points, 0 for 2 from the field in the first half. Coach Brooks says the key to our Wildcat success is her. He added pun intended.
Haha.
Next
5 of those possessions to go your way, that can make a big difference at the end of the game. So you have to be on your P's and Q's in terms of setting and utilizing screens in the proper way.
Lawrence finding space for herself, knocks it down.
She just looks so seamless with her mechanics on her shot. I mean, I saw it earlier and I was mesmerized by it. I'd love to see someone who has clearly put time in to the consistent makeup of how to shoot the ball. This game has picked up pace and the buckets have been dropping in. McCarthy for Purdue, sticking with the play and sticking it off the glass for a deuce. And Georgia Amore, you already know what it is. That's good. The glass hard, so that's what we've seen so far in this second half from Purdue. Kentucky has been knocking in a couple threes here and there. They've been able to score the ball, so it's tough to play at the pace you want.
Lawrence calls her own number. Rebound taken by Swanson. But you're right, Brooks certainly earning the paycheck with how he's had to break things down, slow it down, really provide extra reassurance for his team. He says we're 8-1, but still times where maybe get a little too down on ourselves, and we have to remember how we've worked to get to this point.
No question about it. And Georgia Amore, as we said in that first half, coming into this game, only 25% from range, from the three-point line. So well under her average for
first quarter, outscoring 24-11 in the second quarter as that attempt by Lombard just rolls off.
Man, that just hit every piece of the rim. If they can get it up the floor, they had an advantage with Lombard, who had sprinted out and leaked out to the strong side corner.
Collier running the show, future teacher. Going to Bass in the paint. Strack had an effect on that. Throw into the paint, and it will go back to the mix.
Trying to push the other way. Silva was on the baseline when I came walking in for shoot around today, and I was like, oh, goodness, man, I'm glad I'm done playing. Yeah, I was a shadow to her, and I mean, her presence alone, look at her right there contesting up top.
Only came to Lexington a couple days before classes started. She was competing with her UAT team at Eurobasket.
How about that? I mean, that's what this game has created, right? A lot of the WNBA players, obviously, very defender connected to her, but wasn't able to pay it off.
That is the third personal on Clara Strack. And McCarthy will be shooting here. It's continued to be a 13-0 run for the Wildcats. And Purdue, you're right, stagnant's a great way to put it, Christy. They also are 0 for 10 from 3. Points her third 3.
Well, I told you that 51% three-point shooter, and Lawrence got that one to go. But on the other side, Purdue trying to get things cracking, and this one got things spinning. Now, how many times? Come on. That's just too much. Paid it off anyway.
It's going to go get and feed us a lot of points, and maybe seeing how that can be a tough way to go.
Yeah, no question about it, and someone's got to take it upon themselves.
That was a great look for Amore. Can't knock it down. Puryear tracks down the ball.
See if they can get some early offense. They can't take a lot of time on the shot clock. And there's the feed that our Autumn Johnson was talking about, and get it to McCarthy.
Good things happen when you're distributing through the post.
Come on. And it's not that McCarthy shot the ball, right? Get her a touch, because the defense is going to morph to that catch.
Amore looks for a better option, but it's clear that this team kept pouring confidence into her.
Yeah, just give it back to her. It's amnesia. If you miss a shot, you're not going to shy away from taking the next one. Line yourself up, recalibrate, and splash it down. And stay aggressive. And that's what you want to see. And that's the trust, not just from the coaches, but from your teammates. Give it back to me, I got you next time. And that's what you saw on that one.
4 in double figures for the Wildcats. Very balanced game for them. So some of the pressure actually off of her. He talked after she struggled against North Carolina, their only loss this season. He talked to Elizabeth Kitley and said, when did you feel like your performance was going to determine the team's success? And she said, it wasn't until my junior year, and it clicked for Coach Brooks. We're putting too much on her shoulders right now, even though she is blossoming and she wants this and cares. We still got to even things out.
Absolutely, and you know, you want her to be along the way like Elizabeth Kitley, but it...
3. Look at Jones skying for that rebound. We'll dish it out to Swanson.
Boards aren't only for the post players. Get in there, guards, and get them.
Snaking along the baseline. That's been the bread and butter offense for Purdue in the second half.
They've been able to sneak along that baseline area and get what they want.
It's the reverse. She has come alive in the second half. The transfer from community college, her first year in Division I basketball. Outstanding here on the road.
So they're trying to get McCarthy there at the nail. They're trying to get some split action, but they're not taking that cut.
Swanson weaving through that screen, the spin move, and denied by Key, and igniting her own fast break coast to coast for the finish.
Key right there, just those long limbs.
Cassidy Rowe checking in and taking that charge.
Offensive foul, Purdue 22, Kendall Courier, her second, team's third.
Rowe from deep in the heart of Appalachia at Eastern Kentucky, comes from a town under 600. Loves this university, and it looks like we're going to have perhaps another look at that last play with Rowe hitting the deck test for the Purdue Boilermakers. We're going to go 0-3 against ranked competition. Swanson swipes that. Looking for the 2 on the fast break. She's got it.
Well, this Purdue team, they can learn from this, and either you win or you learn, right? And for this team that's still trying to get themselves on the same page on the offensive end and not have those droughts offensively, they still have some learning to